Let me just see. Okay, let me see if we are live now. 1 second. Just wait for it to fire up. Yeah, we are live. I'll just wait for a few more people. Janice,
who else you got coming?
Oh, no, for the live show to fire up so that we have more guests.
Oh.
So, because it's an impromptu live. Okay, there we go. Matthew, Christy, thank you. And we've got 17 people, and isn't that number appropriate? Welcome everybody to the Love in Action show with me, Alpa Soni, this rainy evening all the way here in the UK. But I'm speaking to two very sunshining people all the way from LA, California. Donald needs no introduction. He's the superstar of Arii, the brains behind it, and we all love him. And I'd like to introduce a very special lady who I was honored to meet at the Anaheim Truth Tour. She came up to me and shared some beautiful stories, which I won't spoil, about Arii, but it was just really lovely to connect with her on all levels. A truth warrior herself, a very kindred soul. Welcome, Janice, to the Love in Action show.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. It's such a dream come true to be on here. I listened to you for since the pandemic, and so it's really nice to connect, especially with you in person and here, and Donna as well. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. And Donald, how are you? You've been raving throughout the USA, haven't you? You've been living.
I've been going crazy.
In
a nice way.
Donald is the most active person that I know. It makes me feel embarrassed because he's traveled up and down the country. He never gets tired. And his beautiful wife, Barbara, as well. Both of them are just so magnificent, and I'm blessed to know you. So with the pleasantries aside, I met, like I said, met Janice through Arii, and the reason why I invited her was to share her story. And of course, autism is a cause close to my heart, and she's been using Arii now for some time. So Janice, I'd just love you to share with my audience really like your story, first of all, as a parent and with your children, and then coming up to Arii and your experience with that.
Sure. My name is Janice. I have two beautiful daughters. My oldest is going to be 6 in January, and my youngest is 4. And being a parent is such a joy to have these wonderful blessings in my life, because not only they teach you to be good parents and trying to, they also trigger you a lot of your emotional and trauma or whatever you want to do in your stage. But being an aware individual, I'm aware of my emotions, so I'm able to, learn and correct it in any way I can. So I noticed since my daughter was born, my oldest, I noticed some particular behavior that is kind of not alarming, but I just noticed that she's not very social with other kids. She have a lack of imaginative play, and she's very sensitive to certain things, certain touch. So as I'm watching her growing up, being there for her, and I think once she was more like at the age of 2 and 3, she really was very expressive on her feeling. And I remember telling her dad about, I think our daughter could possibly be on the spectrum of autism, and of course, for any parent, they don't want to admit that, like, oh, special needs. But for me, I don't see a child as anything. More importantly, I see her as like, I need to help her. You know, I need to help her to express herself in the best way that she can. Because, you know, we know children really absorb energies, and their way of language is through their emotion.
Yeah.
Why all the whining and crying occurs, because they don't know how to express themselves. And especially for autistic kids, it's actually more maximized, you know. Gets on your nerves, it does.
You
So
said you thought she could sit on the spectrum. Just like to add to that, like, and ask you, what did you have any experience with any other autistic children at this point? How did you kind of draw to that conclusion? What was the perception?
So my background before having kids of my own, I guess in college and stuff, I worked with, I used to be a swim instructor.
Oh,
and I worked with special needs kids, everything from Down syndrome to autistic kids.
wow.
So I work with around parents. So I'm kind of aware of the behavior, you know what I mean? But I for me, I never, you know, I just kind of play around in their way, make them laugh and things like that. So I'm definitely aware of that. That's why when I spot the signs and flags, red flags and stuff with my own daughter, I instantly knew, like, you can't deny it, you know, as much as you can. For me, it's more about solution. And so
Yes.
I came across, actually, Alpa, you were interviewing Donald and Barbara on your YouTube video. It was a long video, but at the same time, I've learned so much. And, you know, learned so much from the creator yourself, using natural herbs and stuff like that. And I just remember watching it, and I just felt so much hope, like so hopeful for parents, just as myself and so many other who's affected by this. I was like, oh my God, there's hope for my girl, you know, because I am aware, you know, there's a lot of mercury and toxin out there. The fact that even if they have like those routine vaccine checkup and things like that as well. So anyway, but the point is, it gave me so much hope, and I instantly bought Arii, as I said, the autism and the detox right away. So I remember I bought it in June, and I started using it on my daughter every single night. As she falls asleep, I would put it on her navel and on the bottom of her foot, and put a sock on it.
You did both?
No, first I started with the detox for about I heard Donald's
navel. And did you do the navel and the foot
Yeah.
together? Okay,
Both.
and right, great.
Mhm.
How many drops did you use on the navel and how many on their feet?
So based on your instruction, I shake it up first. I have it here. I would shake it, and then I put it in. I put about 5 to 6 drops. Okay, and then I just use my finger to dip it, and then put it on her navel and her foot. So that's been our nightly routine for me. And I also use it on my other daughter, you know, and myself, because I love natural things that, you know, I just want to see how it is. So, okay, so let me fast forward. So I did the detox for about 12 weeks. And then later on the autism, this autism one for another, maybe about 6 weeks. So within, I would say, about 2.5 months or so, and I think it varies with everybody, but I've noticed she is more aware. Usually she just kind of, because when with kids that are on a spectrum, usually they're not aware of the little things, the little details. But and then she started noticing, like, for example, I bump my head on in the car, you know, as I'm like standing up or something. And she noticed. My daughter said, Mommy, you bump your head in the car. Are you okay? And then she came over. She's like, let me kiss it. Oh, you be better. And then another time, like, she saw me, like, doing something, and I said, ouchie, you know, in the kitchen, and she's kind of like out here playing in the living room. And she heard me said, ouchie. She came over and said, Mommy, you said, ouchie, are you okay? That never happened, okay? I'm telling you that. But since before I did that, she never even noticed these little things. But to me, it's a big, big difference. And yeah, and even for myself, I noticed I have less brain clog on my brain. You know, they say I have more. I feel like I'm more energized. Even for myself, I used to detox on myself and my daughter. And my youngest one is not on a spectrum or anything, but she's just so alert, everything. And so anyway, but yeah, thank you, Dono, for
You're welcome.
having this. And please, that is my story so far. But thank you so much. I love you both.
No, thank you for sharing that. Donald, how do you feel hearing that?
Well,
You both got emotional, Janice, but you can see.
It's the little things that counts. I'm not saying this is like, you know, gonna be drastic, but just being her being aware of the little things is a big important step, because she's acknowledging her awareness. And I'm also teaching her about her emotion, like anger and stuff like that. And she noticed, like, Mommy, I'm crying, I'm sad, or like I'm angry. And you know, she looked at me in the eye. That's another thing, Dono. With most spectrum kids, they don't look at you in the eye, and that was the sign I saw before. She just kind of like that. But now, like, she looked me in the eye and she talks to me. She sings, she dances. I mean, it's she in a low spectrum, but then it's this product, honestly, it really, like, I don't know what it does, but it really make her blossom. In other words, I don't know, that's the right word, blossom, like in every area of her behavior, her awareness, her thoughts, things like that.
That's what we've heard from many people. And it's the thing is that it was created for that purpose, is to, you know, detox the brain. That detox, it targets the brain. It targets metals and toxins, poison, and it does exactly what the great creator created it for. You know, all we're doing is putting those elements together, and we bless it. And you know, it's a religious thing to us. You know, it's
yeah, and we can really feel that the energy that you put in, Donald and Barbara. They put heart and soul, and we feel blessed that we've been aligned to this. I think the universe works in the most special ways, Donald, doesn't it?
It does. You know, when my wife and I, we're excited to work with Alpa. It's just nice to find people that want to reach out. I mean, we can't do what she is doing. She has a way of reaching out to people, and it's better to go this way than the other way. And that's, you know, we're all trying to touch people that have problems, health issues, so that, like you know, you're not alone in these experiences, Janet. There's a lot of people that are amazed at what their children are doing. You know, I mean, we even have one that's he's not only autistic, but he's Down syndrome, and you know, it's just wonderful to see. Not that it's curing that type of thing, the Down syndrome, but it's a targeting to help their brain. And it doesn't matter if it helps, why toss it aside? You know what I mean?
Right.
Why would you not reach out if you have a child that has this challenge, why, and you hear that there is an opportunity, and as you have found, why would you say, nah, it's not scientifically backed up?
Right. And as you know, there's nothing like this out there. There's no one marketing this stuff. And the fact that you created something that is so just miraculous in a way, it's awesome. Like, who wouldn't want to use it just to try it out and see what the difference makes, you know?
Did you find that it worked quickly, or did it take, we use it for 12-day detox. Did you find during those first 3 days, did you see anything? I think what I'm trying to say is, anybody out there that has a child, they always want to know when. I don't see anything happening, when is it going to happen? And I'm just wanting to get your feedback, because.
Yes, actually, when you mentioned that, even I noticed within a week, I noticed she was really opening up. She was way more talkative than before. Before, she was more observed, like, I'm gonna do my own thing and play. But as I'm watching her, she played with her little sister, her imaginary, like, like little, let's cook in the kitchen, sister. Like, okay. And she's, doing all the kids do. And I was just in the background. I was like, oh my God. It's so wonderful. Just that little thing. Like, it's, yes. So I would say from my experience, I've noticed within a week. So that's that's pretty fast.
Yeah, my wife was working at one of the health food places, as a health counselor, and she would always tell them, because that's what they were told to tell them, not to experience anything for at least 3 months. 3 months of taking their product, these certain products, and say, it'll take about 3 months before you'll actually have some kind of an experience with it, whatever that product was. But that's not what we're having. We're finding within days, they are actually saying, whoa, this stuff is incredible. And it is. It is incredible. It's just a blessing that we have had the opportunity to experience. And we're happy. We just like more people just try it. And we're encouraging people, and especially Alpa and her and what she's doing. She has a love for autistic children. She has a love for people, and you can feel it.
I really do. And thank you for saying that, Donald. And every time, the first time you and Barbara met me in LA, every time we started talking about the subject of autism, I would end up teary, and I just wouldn't be able to control my emotions, because it's a subject, one, close to my heart. But I commend mothers like yourself, Janice, parents who are watching this, of autistic children. The lovely lady, Erica, who came on our show previously and shared her feedback, because no one autistic child or person is going to be the same. It's going to be like variable, and each experience will be different. And for me, listening to this and this organic approach that we've had with enough testimonials now to be able to go forward fiercely and, yes, market this product. So I implore everybody, just putting the medical disclaimer, of course, we are not here to treat, cure autism. That's not what we're saying. We're here to support and provide relief. So just want to make that clear. But it is something that really warms my heart when I hear of a lady, and I'm going to be inviting her very soon as well, that I met in Nashville. So I met you in Anaheim, and then I met another wonderful lady in Nashville, and she shared her experience with her 15-year-old daughter. And that was like, wow, and I'll wait for that. But I'll just sort of whet everyone's appetite by saying that the changes in her daughter were remarkable. And as her mother, she came to find me because she had heard that I was there to specifically say, I'd like to give you feedback. For me, and Donald as well, I say that this makes us feel that we're on the right path.
We are on the right path. That's what's so beautiful, is that you can't have an herbal combination of product and to have it respond to people, children or adults. Some of them have that problem too. It's kind of like, you know, why can't we team up with some other people and say, look, you don't have all the answers. If you did, we wouldn't be having, you'd be having the success that we're having. And that's one way of putting it. And I don't want to be harsh, but the fact is that we're not here to injure people. You know, we're not here to say that we're better than somebody else, these other, you know, because we all could work together. You know, if we would work together, we would reach out to a lot more people. But pride enters into it, money enters into it, and so you have a real challenge. And all we're trying to do is to reach out and touch the autistic children.
Yeah,
and we're doing that through you. And we appreciate it.
You see, you know, thank you for that, Donald, to persevere and use it, because it's an oil, and autistic children don't like to take things orally, which is from my experience with autistic children.
And non-autistic children, they don't like medicine.
Kids don't like anything like this.
That's
why it was best when they're sleeping, and I just put it on them.
Do you know, that was one of the things as a child, I was incredibly sensitive. So everyone knows I say that I think I sit very mildly, if not, who knows, I haven't had it officially diagnosed, but I do sit on the spectrum myself, because there was just so many things that I had started looking into about the Asperger's, or Asperger's as they call it in America. It was through my nephew that I started becoming obsessed with the subject of autism. If people watch my previous show, they'll know the story, but there is some good news that Arii, my nephew, has started using it himself. He's an exceptionally beautiful child, and smart and very intelligent kid. He's into bodybuilding at the moment. He's just turned 12, and his mum said to me that, you know, I'm open to trying it now, and I just cried. For me, if you follow the journey from the very first show, Barbara and I and Donald have done, to be where we are now with my own nephew trying it is a big victory for me personally. So I said to my sister-in-law, would you come on the show yourself? She goes, no, I'm too camera shy, she won't do it. But that's progress. Now, you know, it's the timing is going to vary for everybody as well. If you recall, Donald, not Laura, Erica, who came on our show previously, her story was slightly different. Her son's 4 years old, and she had a bit of a reaction in the initial stages. So that's, I think, more like a Alzheimer's reaction. And she still persevered. She just intuitively knew, as a mother would, to lower the dosage. And she persevered. And then when she came on our show, and the feedback that she gave, again, eye contact, the vocabulary had increased incredibly by midway through the
it was interesting that she said within 72 hours. She says up to that point she was nerve-wracking, and they got a hold of me and say, is there something else? I mean, what are we doing? You know, they're having all these experiences, and I just told her, I said, it's just part of the detox. You know, you're detoxing the brain and stuff that came out, and there's a lot of stuff came out of his bowels. You know, it detoxed his colon, and so all these things. But she says in 72 hours, He was calm. You know, that poison, all that garbage, however he obtained it, was being released, and he was getting a headache, you know, and screaming, and you know, it was just something that you know, you almost have to go through it. You don't like to see that happen, but the thing is that she says in 72 hours he was calm, no headaches, poisons, and all that stuff. She says came out of his bowel. It was amazing, and I think you're going to find as different people, because of their chemistry, will have a different reaction, as you mentioned. And so all we're saying is that, you know, persevere. It's not just 12 days, give it 12 days. 72 hours, he was a different boy and excited. I was talking to his grandpa, if I may carry on with this, and he was swinging this boy. And while he was swinging, he looked him in his eyes. He came up to him. He says, "I want you to say, 'Hi, Grandpa.'" You know, and so he came back. He kept saying, he says, "Now, if you want me to swing you more, you have to say, 'Hi, Grandpa.'" So he's swinging. All of a sudden, he comes up to him. As he comes up to his face, he says, "Hi, Grandpa." It's a cool response. I mean, you know, when you get a child that has challenged, and now he's starting to become what I would call a little more normal, and not totally, but if you'll just persevere, you'll be surprised. The things that are happening to these children is just remarkable, and it's exciting. But you got to realize it's the herbs that are doing what they were created for. You know, you got to realize that even the medical society, the scientists they're extracting from herbs, you know, unless it's synthetic, you know, unless they want to create their own, that's a different. But in the beginning, they would extract certain properties. They would go to the herbs. That's what they were doing, you know. It's just, that's because it's what the higher, you know, creator gave it to us. And
and
we just need to know the
power of natural medicine, right?
Oh yeah, it is medicine. It's, you know, the fruit is for meat and the leaves are for medicine. That's just the way it is.
Janice, I have a quick question for you. When you noticed the changes with your little princess, did her vocabulary change as well? Did you notice this?
Tremendously. So one of the great example I would say is, you know how, like, you know, they like certain songs, right? And with kids, like, on a spectrum, they love repetition. They love repeating words. She still does that, but my big thing that I noticed, she sang a whole song to me in the car. And I was just like, whoa, you know, the song that we've been listening to for so many times? She would sing it and dance. And I mean, I try to record her. I have the recording. It's so special. And then another time, I would say with the socialization, before, she was very kind of like, I don't want to really play with anyone. She still have that. She's working on that. But based on so my daughter's in kindergarten right now. And recently I had a visitation with like a luncheon at her school. And the first thing I noticed is, like, other kids love her. Like, they'll say, "Hi, Kay," you know, her name, and she'll say hi back. And she's just like, "I want a hug." And then she'll hug her friend. I was like, wow, like, you're so friendly with everybody, you know? And I would try to conversate with one of her friends. I was like, do you like playing with, you know, my daughter? And she's like, yeah, I love her. She's so much fun. She's always smiling. And when I spoke to her teacher at a conference, just to get kind of like a sense of how she's doing in school and her attentive and everything, Surprisingly, even though she's in the IEP program, like most, with that program that helps kids like her, they said that for the most part, she's very attentive. She might not learn like other kids how like you have to sit down, but she'll learn in her own ways where she likes to
I
stand
love
up,
that. I love that.
but then she knows everything. Yes. She repeat the lesson. She knows the songs, the words to it. She's very talkative, very expressive, and just working on minor things such as her writing skills and stuff like that. But you're hearing that from a parent, like it gives me so much hope. Like, wow, she's really expanding her knowledge and her awareness and her socialization with her peers. And to me, that's great because, as parents, we all want our kids eventually to be independent and to have free thinkers, able to think for themselves and acknowledge their emotion and things like that. So, yes, big difference in vocabulary and targeted. That's the first thing I noticed. Even like Donna, even I would say, I don't know, maybe 3 days, like I said, like I'm like, whoa, where's all this talkative coming from? And then 7 days, it just like really flourished. Like, wow, yeah.
I was talking to Erica, one of the ladies that Alpa had interviewed, and she's telling me, I was talking to her on the phone, and his little boy is about 4 years old, and his name is Colton. And she says, he talks so much now. I wish he would just be quiet.
And that, as a parent, I mean, I cannot think that because I'm not one, apart from to Kenzo, and he doesn't talk. But I mean, he has his peculiar ways, trust me. But it must be emotionally taxing at times, especially when you feel frustrated and they have meltdowns. You have been working with children in the community, but like for parents who have like no experience, it must be really, really difficult because the meltdowns can be really severe, right? And did you experience that with your own daughter? Or have you?
Yes, I have. Even when we go to Knott's Berry Farm, she sometimes would have tantrums and she'll lie on the floor and just cry. And then, something like that, chaotic. But what it teach me as a parent is I need to be calm with her. So instead of chaos to chaos, I have to be the opposite reflection to that behavior. So what I do is I just pick her up and just hug her anytime she's going through this emotional stages in her moments. I just let her know, like, hey, you're safe with me. I'm here for you. Let's breathe in and out. The breathing technique is so helpful.
Wonderful.
Yeah, and just to acknowledge them that it's okay to have these emotions. And I think most parents, even for me growing up, I was not taught about emotion. It's like, oh, stop crying, go to your room, do this, and it really shut you off at emotional. You keep things to yourself growing up, and this is why kids have childhood trauma throughout their life, because they can't express themselves because their parents always like punish them for even being anything but happy. And that's the thing, is not all kids are happy. We all have moments too, like as an adult. So you have to be aware of your own emotion, your own triggerness with them, and just let them know that it's okay to have these emotional thing, and then just be there for them. And one thing I noticed about my daughter too, Alpa, is that she loves to hug, and the hugging, that oxytocin, it's great for kids. It's just a simple hug. It really calms them down.
I love a hug now.
That's what
when I was a kid. And I still to this day, if somebody comes and approaches me to hug me, I'll automatically do this. If it's someone I don't know, like my dad and I are both similar like that. So when I go and hug him and he goes to hug me, we both go the opposite direction. because we don't know which way. So he'll just go, thank you. He'll just do that. And then I'll say, Dad, I love you. And he'll go, okay, thanks. So, I mean, my dad definitely sits on the spectrum. He's just so hilarious. But this is where my fascination again started, because I started looking out for these traits in my family. So, you know, it's no one shoe fits all, as I say. But when I looked at my nephew, then my brother, myself as well, I think, you know, we were all saying there's something, that we've all got something with all the mercury that's around in so many products and in the food that we eat. And, you know, no one's getting away with these toxins in today's day and age. And what we need to ensure is that when we have a compromised immune system, we look after our health. Of course, we know this now, but when it comes to this and parents not being educated about that, and I'd say it's one of the root causes and the correlation between autism because of the heavy metal toxins that go straight into the brain, the aluminium, and all the other terrible ingredients found in them. And you know, all know what I'm referring to. So I've been studying this subject quite extensively, and Donald and I are going to do regular shows on the subject of autism and the various different types, shall I say. I mean, I know it all comes under ASD now, but children with ADHD and the various meltdowns that they have. I follow the autism hashtag on Instagram, and I have been like just really more well-versed with all the challenges that adults with autism have. So this is a subject that Donald and I are going to be speaking on. We're going to speak, obviously Arii is there to assist and help. And as we say, we provide autism support. Of course, it's not a cure, but to detox first, which is the 12-day process, either through the navel or the feet, whichever is more appropriate.
Or both.
Pardon?
Or both. As Janice expressed, you know, I'm glad you did, because, you know, we're always, personally, I did not know anything about the naval process. That was taught to me by Alpa, and I had to look it up because I never heard of it before. And then the power of it, the people from India, they're quite advanced in this healing art. It's, you know, the herbs and so forth. It's not new to them, neither is it with the Chinese. You know, the American people have really, in the last couple hundred years, are beginning to pick it up compared to the thousands of years that they have been using herbs. And, you know, and there's a couple of channels that not channels, websites that I look at, and a lot of them are from the Indian people.
Yeah, the process actually through the navel is, and if people want to look it up, is called patiently. Hi, beautiful Barbara. Thank you for joining. That's a nice surprise. Isn't she beautiful?
Oh, thank you.
This is Janet.
Janet. Hi, I'm Barbara, and he's all mine.
You guys are a lovely, beautiful couple. Aww.
They are. They both work so hard together, and then they're so inspiring, just as a couple, as parents, as grandparents, and when you speak to both, it's just all heart and soul. And I'm very grateful that I'm in, you know, contact with them. I'm very blessed. So thank you both. But we were saying about what you just mentioned, Donald, about the Indian process of specialty is the Ayurvedic way of administering herbs through the navel. So you could put things like neem oil, various things for various different skin issues, digestion, etc. So it has been around for thousands of years in India.
Oh, yeah.
And it's so interesting that I've connected with Donald to do this. So, well, God's watching everything, you know, and is aligning the right people, the right soldiers to each other.
Right.
For sure. I just wanted to say thank you to the audience that are watching. I've had a few people say they've ordered it, and I hope that you've used the Alpa 15 code in all capital letters, Alpa 15, and it's on the Arii website, www.arii.com, spelled ARII.com. I have got it on the chat, and all information will be in the description below. But going back to the subject of autism and your experience, Janice, what would you say to people watching this now, having experienced it yourself with your own beautiful princess?
Earlier you mentioned like everybody has a small spectrum of something. I know for me personally, I used to be not very aware. I have attention span, or like very short attention span, I mean. So I'm unable to manage and focus on certain thing, a certain task. And I think learning from a parent's point of perspective, loving your parents and having kids is not the challenging part. The challenging part is having things to do in that one day or whatever. You know, the multitasking. I gotta pick up, drop off the kids, you know, grocery shopping, whatever it is. It's the multitask that is the challenging thing. And also, you know, dealing with multiple energies and emotional, you know, kids who are just having their own needs. That, to me, that's a challenging part. And I noticed for me personally, when I start using Arii, and especially the detox one, I put on my navel before I go to sleep. And the thing one thing I also want to share is that I usually do a prayer, like as I'm shaking the bottle. I do a prayer. I'm like, you know, thank you for this beautiful herb, and you know, I'm blessed that you know, please bless my kids with you know, awareness, and that they're great and they're happy, and they're, you know, whatever your blessing is, like the I am affirmation I kind of put into that prayer as well. And same thing when I do drink water. It's miraculous. So I do that anyway, and I did that from the detox on myself. And I swear to you, like, I noticed a big difference in my awareness, clogginess, you can say, and just being able to focus. I would wake up very alert. Like, I'm not a morning person, but I have to wake up early and get the kids ready for school. But I'm able to, like, oh my God, I can jump one point to another point and focus and actually finish the task. I would say within about, I don't know, 2 days, 3 days. And talking about the navel, what I've also learned is that, you know, when we're mothers, the navel is such an important immune thing in our body, because that's what the source, the bloodline, and then the food source to our baby is through our navel. And really toxin. I mean, it really detox everything else. So Donna and Barbara, you were on point right there. You're right. It's the navel. It really helps because it's in the center of our whole body, and that's why I use it on my kids, the navel and foot. I was like, I'm gonna maximize their their ability to, like, flourish however they can, you know, like get them in the middle center and the bottom of their feet, and, you know, the whole grounding thing as well with our feet. So in my testimony, I would say personally, not just, you know, kids with special needs, but even for people who have just ADHD and unable to focus, it really helped. This herb is amazing. And I wake up every day with full energy. And to me, that's awesome. Like, I have my coffee here and there, but I don't really need it. That's the thing. It all comes with your awareness of, you know. So thank you for that. Donna and Barbara. You know?
No, thank you for that beautiful feedback, and that's important to know. I did make an error, folks, so do forgive me. It's aribrand.com, so that's ARI. Look at me. It's that
Yeah, I was wondering because
Arii brand. Also, it's late at night, and I literally haven't eaten today, and I just ate quickly, so my brain is a little bit foggy myself. That's sorry, correction. And links are
I have
all.
a question when you're done.
Yeah, sorry. Links are all in the description. And once again, there's a discount. And of course, I'll be gifting you on myself another bottle of this RE detox and support. But you mentioned something which is really important for our viewers to know, is that everybody can use the detox. Everyone. So if you're someone who doesn't like tablets as an adult, doesn't matter what age you are, this is something that you can use as maintenance. And of course, Christmas is coming up, and there'll be more discounts as well, because I want people to try it. For me, it's more about getting it to more people, more awareness about it. But it is through organic feedback like this that I think is really important from a parent and the parent that's used it as well. So yeah, that's lit my mind to
Can I also mention one more thing?
Yes,
if I can go just. Can I? Okay. All right. So I'm a type of person, like, I got to experience in order for me to know if it works or not, right? That's always been my philosophy of life and everything. Apply to yourself first and things like that. So I've noticed a difference in myself. So my next thought was like, what about my family? My family who always had this. And that is something, it's, heartbreaking for me because I can have no control of it. And I remember when my dad had that, the third one, I'm talking about, he started to experience knee pains, and he would start like kind of limping a little here and there as he walked. And to me, I was like, oh my God, like that's terrible. So I actually sent him a bottle. I told him, Dad, you don't have to drink this. It's not like, CBD or anything like that. All you have to do is before you go to sleep, rub this, shake it, and put it on your belly and go to sleep. And he did that at first he was stubborn about it. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, just try it out, please. And he did it for maybe about 2 weeks or so or whatever. And then when I visit him, I asked him about the pain on his knees. He's like, it's not there anymore. And less limping. He's like, he's able to go to the Knott's Berry Farm with me the whole day without complaining. So that's great.
That's awesome.
And then my sister also had that, and I asked her to use it, just like, please just use it, because it affects her neurological brain. She's always like very agitated and very angry most of the time. So I had to use it, and I noticed she's more calm, like just the little things. I'm just saying, but
I didn't even realize.
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe that could be. That's help beyond just the autism, But
sure.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
When we spoke on the phone and in person, you didn't actually mention that part, that you got it for your father and got your sister to try that. So thank you for sharing that on the show.
Yeah.
Surprise.
I have to ask you, excuse me, Alpa.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't mean to interrupt you. I'm curious, how many drops did you use on yourself, like the foot and the navel? I'm wondering how much you put on you. It's kind of like, it gives us a little more focus on, because we work with other people with different challenges, and some of the stuff that we just got, I don't want to talk about these but the fact is that it helps us to narrow down, what to do for.
Honestly, Donna, for me, I use it one big drops. So I would shake it, and then I just have it filled and whatever, and then I just one good big drops, because I don't need it on my foot or anything. I usually just put on my navel, and that's good enough, because otherwise I'll have extra. Sometimes when I use it on my girls, I use 7 drops, for instance, about 7 drops together, and then I put on both girls their navel and bottom of their feet, and then if the extra,
Are you using
I put it on myself.
Are you using 7 drops on the navel and 7 on the feet?
Yes. So I would rub it evenly on their feet, and then I put a sock on it. And then they just, I mean, they were already asleep. So that was easy for me. I didn't want to do too much, like it tickles them. I don't want to wake them up or anything, you know? So that's been the routine for me. And then the leftover would be for me. I put in my navel and I go sleep. So about 7 drops.
Did it help you sleep?
Oh, my God. Oh, speaking of sleeping, I don't know. I've been getting a lot of lucid dreams. Like I remember my dream. Oh my God, that's another thing I want to talk to you. So before this, I don't remember my dream. I would wake up and you know how dreaming, you're from one scenario to another. You know, that who knows, we're escaping our multi-universe. That, you know, ever since I watched the movie, I was like, I want to remember what universe I went to. But ever since I used this, I remember details of it. And I recall like, oh, my mom visited me, or, you know, so-and-so, you know, there's this man in my dream. It sounds so good. Like I'm talking to my friend and they're like, oh my God, what are you on?
What are you on?
No, it's fascinating. The fact that I remember the detail of the dreams, and that never occurred before. It's like I think it also helped with, like I said, decluttering whatever's in your brain, and we all have that. Trust me, we all have that. No one is perfect, right?
Yeah, no, and the detail you've gone into, I'm so grateful because you know, the feedback in the comments is great, you know, saying that you've given us hope. So Janice, what a powerful feedback. All of us are really grateful for that, because how else can people feel motivated to try something? Because there's so much out there. There's so many products. There's so much this, there's so much that.
Yeah.
You know, look, we're here to truly be behind this cause, which is to help and to provide the relief. I just want to ask you a question, actually, Barbara. In your experience, and what has been your favorite story? Like Janice, the feedback that she's so beautifully given us. This is definitely going to be something that I'll never forget. And so once again, thank you. But Barbara, what's been your favorite story and healing story, quote unquote?
Talking about Janet, Erica?
Yeah, I think
Colton.
Erica and Colton, you know, he's a little boy who couldn't speak more than 15 words, and now he's gone sky high with
200 plus, I think it was.
Yeah.
150 words.
Yeah, and he sings now, and he plays, and you know, and I had another little boy that was 2 years old, or 2 or 3.
He's 3. Oh, you're talking about the one in England. He's in the UK. His name is Cole. You're talking about the
one with the
roller coaster.
The roller coaster. He had a child's roller coaster in his backyard, and he never even paid attention to it until he started taking this. So I think awareness is opening up to all these people that are taking this. And that's an amazing thing. It really is, because we are amazing individuals. Our brains are they're the best computer there is. And sometimes it does get a little fuzzy. And so it's so wonderful to hear that all these children are starting to be kids again, and they're starting to laugh and to play and to run. And it just thrills us, doesn't it? It's just so touching, because it would be horrible to be here and be trapped in your mind. Imagine that, because that's what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
You know?
What's interesting is this Cole. He would go out, you know, in the backyard, but he would never pay attention, according to them, of this roller coaster. Then all of a sudden, after my wife's mentioned, but he'd get in there and he would go and play on it, laugh. I never heard him laughing and just having fun. He was
being a little boy. you know, he was normal again. And so, yeah, it's, you know, it's just totally inspired, and we're just helping where we can to help others. It's a wonderful thing to be involved in, because of this very thing that children are starting to, and adults are starting to become more aware of where they are, who they are, and what they're doing, and how they should naturally act.
I really enjoyed Janice. Forgive me.
Nice.
Yeah, I need to take some myself, because, you know, my
You need your monthly.
yeah, I need my monthly, yeah. But anyway, you know, it's just, everybody has this incredible experience with it, and I love the idea you don't have to take it internally.
Yeah.
It actually goes in through the bloodstream and targets the exact place where it needs to go. That's what's so unique about the body. The body knows what, if you give it what it needs, it'll correct itself.
Mhm.
We're just giving it what it needs. We're
just giving it real food. It's real food is what we're giving it, and it's taking it. And it doesn't. If it has too much, it just gets rid of it, because the brain is so incredibly. I don't even know that there's a word for it. It's just God made, and it works. And so we're excited. We're very excited. It's actually.
Yeah. There you go.
No,
and they last a very long time. They last a long time.
And the other thing that
it's been
I was
almost
going to
6 months,
say,
and I still have some left.
Yeah, and it's a 30 ml bottle, but it goes a very long way. So people say to me, Alpa, it's expensive. I said, look, it lasts a very long time, but that's why I want to do the discounts, especially during these times. I know costs are high for everyone at the moment, and my main thing is to really get this into as many homes for mothers, parents, you know, grandparents, even who've been contacting us, been watching this show, buying it for their grandchildren, to get it out there. Email me personally, Alpa Soni, if you have any of your own stories that you want to share with us, because this is what we want. This is God's work. I think that for parents as well to hear what Janice shared with us today is nothing but extraordinary, and just a delight and warms our hearts to hear this, because again, I reinforce this has been an organic approach, and the fact that God is aligning everything. I was in Anaheim. I met this beautiful lady, and she came up to me and shared this story, and just the way it all happened. Erica, and there's so many more, and the lady in Nashville. I implore you all to have a look at our site. We've got a video there as well. And once again, it's Alpa 15 for 15% off. And I have pinned all the details on the chat. Lovely Richard, who is just always moderating. Alpa at Alpa Soni, sweetheart. Yeah, so that's somebody's just said, Donald, that, you know, they want to try it, gives them hope. And that's really what we want to hear, and that's what our intentions are. Now, of course, if you or a loved one that you know, or a parent, and after hearing everything that we've discussed on today's show, if you feel that that's going to help them, please do share details. And again, email me if you're struggling financially. I will do what I can to give the discounts. Just please email me now. I want this to reach as many children as possible. I have said it's been a slow approach, but now you're going to see more of Arii everywhere. This is what we wanted to hear. And like I said, my nephew's using it now. What a wonderful thing.
That's what you've been waiting for. You know, you talk. Somebody asked you, is it expensive? But you have to ask yourself, what's expensive?
Yes.
You know? I don't know what it cost you to raise this daughter at this point. You know, I've read articles where it's about $80,000 to raise an autistic child, and just alone. But all our children are expensive to raise, especially when they get into high school and they want the flashy things and all this other stuff. But the fact is that we are you're experiencing what you're hoping to have. You're saying, is there a way out? Yeah, and this is what it costs. And and we
Sometimes exactly what you said about the cost. As a parent, and going with all this expensive. Honestly, when I first heard about this product and seeing the price, I never even look at the price. I just said, you know what? I never heard of such thing that gives me so much hope for my own child. This is priceless because, especially the ingredient and the hard work and the love and the care that you and Barbara put into this product itself you can't put a price on it. And especially if your child is blossoming in a way where you never even thought he or she is possible of, how can you put a price on that? Like it to me, it's honestly I can't thank you enough. I am so appreciative of you both and Alpa for bringing this awareness and attention to the world. I did look around. I'm the type of person I research, like, we all are, like, based on review, right? Before we buy the products. And of course.
We lost her.
Janice?
Sorry. The testimony in the beginning blew me away, and it really makes me really cheery. And I had so much hope. I'm like, you know what? If that able to affect that person, that child personally, I want to use it for me and my child. I want to see how this grows. And then I'm so happy to say that, oh my God, not only just me personally, and my awareness has been like really opened up like a parachute. And so is my kid. She's singing, she's doing great in school, and we have a better connection and bond. And I see that every day, and it just gives me so much joy, like as a parent. I can't thank you enough. So thank you for all that you all do for this audience. And I know that this is gonna really, really grow. And I just hope to the whole world, okay? Every child will blossom in their own, uniqueness. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your testimony. We really enjoyed it. Thank you.
Yeah, and how time flies. It doesn't even feel like it's been just over an hour. Donald asked me how long to do the show. I said it's probably an hour. It's been well over. But this is a heartfelt discussion, and I really can feel everybody's hearts here. And I just hope and pray that this will be shared with your friends and family. But thank you everybody for watching, for being here, for supporting us, and just sending you out a lot of love. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.